So I'm gonna read some poems. In the last couple of readings I've done, I've been trying to read for my first book because it seems sad to me to only read from the new one. And also, Wanton has been out for almost a year, so I'm kind of free to read new work and as well old work. So Passport came out in 2006, and this is the oldest poem in Passport. I think it's over 10 years old now. Our Father who art in heaven. I want a dad with a gravel voice, a Tom Waits after 5 or 6 too many voice, to call me a good girl and chuckle when I get detentions, with a full beard and soft brown hair, a white woolen sweater that smells of slightly burned toast, a carpenter with a love of the outdoors to buy me Haagen-Dazs. I want a father with a silken voice to match his suit and tie, to call me a good girl and pat my too short hair, smooth as a horse's, with a ruby in his Harvard class ring on his bi-weekly manicured hands, a father of espresso and single malt scotch, to call me pretty mouth when I curse. Cards. I was 5, eyes like ink stains in the wedding dress of my skin, summer legs sticking to the brown vinyl chair and scraping on the tears where the stuffing crept out. Nanny said she did not believe in hell, except on earth, where Satan skulks like cigarette smoke. Nanny slurred. I stacked the deck against her. Rummy was the game. Ativan was the forgetfulness, the lull that made Nanny's Newfoundland vaguely Blanche Dubois. Nanny flicked her dentures out. I laughed, asked to put my fingers in the holes in her skull. The ground beneath, another apartment above. Mold coughed up from under the linoleum when it rained. I keep putting my finger in one that I may or may not read. Egyptology. A discreet incision near the hip bone for evisceration, replacing only the dehydrated heart. They liquefied the brain with palm wine, poured it out. Unearthed a mummy's skin, slightly orange, perfectly intact. My mother announces cremation is not for her. She speaks now for a time when she won't. She says she may need her body in the afterlife. I put dibs on her birthstone ring. When my Uncle Tom died, the mortician put so much makeup on him, he left this life a stranger. I thought we were in the wrong room. I wiped some of the paint off with a Kleenex. He was perfumed. I must mummify my mother, touch each organ, palm wine to wash the stomach cavity, aromatic plants to dry, fill with myrrh or perfumed sawdust, carefully replace her heart. Mom, if you're watching, hi. Hi! This one appeared in Exile under the title of, I think, Brief Forms of Continuity in Space, but I changed it to Rosary, so Rosary. Hail Mary. Great-grandmother Maeve's Mary, life-size with open palms, fingers lined up, her wise face and blue uniform. Mary crushes the serpent with bare feet. Maeve prayed to her every day, on her knees beside her bed, while stoking the fire, in the small yellow kitchen where she kneaded the dough. Mary mopping the floor beside her, her robe tied up around her knees. Glory like soap suds bubbled around her, full of grace. Against the town's better judgment, Maeve took my mother and me in, said, God does not make mistakes, hung my bastard diapers out on the line. If pride was not a sin, she could have used it in place of pins. The Lord is with thee. Maeve's husband was a blacksmith and a well-digger, hammer to anvil, iron flecks embedded in his skin. Maeve said she would have liked to try well-digging. She said once in a while she would have liked to sleep in. Maeve and I sing Ave Maria, our voices big and round, the filtered light of daydreams, and Mary brings us vanilla ice creams, in cones that open out like tiger lilies. We dig a well. Mary tells dirty jokes. We laugh as hard as the sun beats down. My eyelashes translucent rainbows when I squint. Mary's so different than from what Father McLean thinks she is. Blessed art thou amongst women. I go on a date with Mary. Dry vodka martinis, a glaze of ice on the glasses, double olive. Nobody recognizes her out of uniform. And blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. The fruit of Maeve's womb took up 2 whole pews. The kids slept on piles of old clothes, runny noses in each other's hair, jackets piled on top of them for blankets. Nanny says Maeve called the girls split arses. Maeve often called out more than half of her 16 kids' names before she said the one she meant. Holy Mary. Maeve baked bread every morning she was a wife. Mother of God. Maeve moved in her body the same way I do. A strong stride, broad shoulders, narrow hips. I fit her old clothes perfectly, her perpetually rewashed blue house dresses. I squint for long hours in a foggy mirror at my body, feeling her dress. Sometimes I feel her white hair on my shoulders. Pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our deaths. Nanny Fiona married at 18, just like Maeve, in the same wedding dress. Had 7 kids to Maeve's 16. Maeve's sons gone to school, Fiona warmed water on the wood stove, 18 plates to wash, the crackle of wood, her skinny frame, tall and collarbones protruding, polyester dress, pine smell on her long dark hair, the crescendo of her angry breath. Mary, the split arse Maeve prayed to. Since heaven is my home, call for me there. I will be lounging on a white bed. Mary will be stroking my hair.